The Dragon Reborn, the third book in the Wheel of Time series, has hands down been my favorite so far. First off, let's talk point of view. Oh man, am I glad to have been out of Rand's head for almost an entire book. The Dragon Reborn hardly featured Rand as a point of view character, and honestly, as a character at all. This shift away from Rand actually ended up being one of my favorite parts of the book. It opened up the world for me to see it from other points of view. Even though in the other books you did have a little bit of other characters' points of view, in the end I ended up kind of translating everything through Rand's mindset and personality. And because we hardly saw Rand at all in this book, it really opened things up for me, and now I'm kind of realizing how limited Rand's mindset is and how limited Rand's point of view is, and how limited my view of the series has been because of it. And with that, let's jump into character development. We got a ton of time inside Egwene's head in The Dragon Reborn. She's coming into this story after having been enslaved by the Seanchan, her struggle with authority and also her struggle to really trust people after that experience was one of my favorite parts of this novel. And to be quite honest, her paranoia was very contagious. I actually had some really paranoid dreams about the Blackjaw while I was reading this book. Next up is Matt. Matt without the dagger and without the curse was awesome. I'm not quite sure what his magic is yet. It seems like he has some kind of deeper connection to his past life than maybe some of the other characters have, and possibly also the Dark One's luck. I think his special abilities were explored enough in this book. However, I am looking forward to exploring those abilities a lot more in future books. Perrin is starting to worry me. He's one of my favorite characters, and I'm interested in seeing him becoming more confident, especially in his wolfy abilities. I really loved that he pushed back against Moraine in this book. For the most part, I was pretty positive about the character development. However, there were some characters who didn't get as much attention, or maybe were more static in this story. Understandable, because you can't develop every character all the time, but it was disappointing. Nynaeve is one of them. In previous books, she was one of my favorite characters, but in this book, she literally just tugged her hair. Loyal is another one. I just want more of Loyal. He just kind of was there, it seemed like, this whole story. Speaking of being there, Min wasn't there. Min is someone who's really interesting to me. I have loved her character from the beginning, and I hope that we get to see more of her. Then the last one is Leandrin. Leandrin was such a big deal in the previous book, but in this one she was more of a phantom. Personally, I think she should have been leading the Blackjaw and leading the attacks on the girls when they got to Tyr. Overall, I was very happy with the plot, but I have two complaints. Number one, the tease of the 13 Blackjaw. Putting so much emphasis into the specific number of Blackjaw that there were 13 of them, it made that seem like a big deal. And you know what? Maybe it will be in a future book, but it wasn't in this book. And I think that this specific book, not the series in general, because I haven't read the rest of the series, but this specific book would have been so much more satisfying if the 13 Blackjaw had done something. Personally, I think that they should have attempted to turn Rand to the dark side, and the three girls step in to help save the day. My other complaint is that the books are starting to become formulaic. We start together, separate, then everybody comes back together for an epic final battle where Rand does all kinds of crazy stuff and wins and doesn't know how. The interesting thing is, though, that despite being frustrated and annoyed with the formula, this was, in my opinion, the best rendition of the formula so far. I didn't really feel like that for the Eye of the World or for the Great Hunt that Rand really earned his epic ending and his epic battle. I think I like this one the best because the characters that we did spend time with earned their ending. Whereas Rand, who we didn't spend time with, even if he didn't earn his ending, it wasn't as big of a deal because we didn't have all that time with him. I've heard that the fourth book marks like a change in the formula, and I'm really excited to see that happen. I have a couple of guesses and theories about where the book is going next. Number one, the Amerlin seat is Blackjaw. My understanding was that the Blackjaw were trying to push the girls to Tyr to push Rand to Tyr, and she let that happen really easily. A part of me wants to reread everything that Siwan said in this book and see if I can find a different truth than the one that I personally read. Number two, Perrin is going to get help from Elias with his wolfy stuff. Number three, Matt is gonna get a dance with Lanfear? Celine. Number four, I think we're gonna see some kind of epic gambling duel between Matt and one of the Forsaken. Number 5, the next book is called The Rising of the Shadow, or The Shadow Rising, or The Dark is Rising, or something like that. So I think we're gonna see kind of the rising of the Forsaken, and we're gonna start having to take them on. If you guys are anything like me, I know you can't get enough of the Wheel of Time. Check out this video right here to commiserate the Wheel of Time show with me. And until next time, thanks for joining my adventure.